So here's what Meta just did. Meta told its own staff two things that sound like they should not fit in the same meeting. First, Alexander Wang said Meta's unreleased model, codenamed Watermelon, has caught OpenAI's GPT-5.5 on major tests. These tests are the scorecards AI companies use to compare models on things like reasoning, coding, and problem solving. And then Mark Zuckerberg reportedly admitted Meta's AI agents have not accelerated the way the company expected. That is, the whole AI industry in one awkward room. The model can score, the product still has to work. One term before you get into it. An AI agent, if you don't know what it is something that does the tasks, not just answers questions. A chatbot tells you how to book a flight. An agent can search, compare, choose, and even book it for you with your permission. And that's where, things can get messy. So yes, Watermelon matching GPT 5.5 sounds big. It is big if Meta's claim holds up in real use. It means the race at the top is getting tighter again, and OpenAI does not get to sit alone on the throne just because people keep saying its name first. ChatGPT comes first. It does. But Watermelon is still in training. Meta has not given a timeline. And the more interesting detail is that a model can look powerful in tests while the actual agent product still disappoints. This is not a small distinction. A model answering a puzzle correctly is one thing. A product reliably doing work for millions of people is another. One is a brilliant student in an exam hall. The other is an employee who has to show up on Monday, use the company's systems, not break anything, and remember what the job was. The second one is definitely harder. That is why Meta's update matters. Not because Watermelon has definitely changed your life today. It has not. But because the gap between we built a powerful model and we built a product people can trust is now the main fight. And while Meta is trying to close that gap, Anthropic has a different problem. Fable 5 is back inside Claude Pro, Max, and Team plans, but not in the comfortable way people had hoped. According to the update included, access runs only through July 7th. After that, Fable 5 is priced at $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. And in case you didn't know, tokens are the little chunks of text an AI model reads and writes. It's the basic way of how AI models charge. These tokens are actually how API bills quietly build up into something quite monstrous. By the way, that price is reportedly double of Opus 4.8's $5 for input and $25 for output. Double. This figure may not be exact forever because model pricing changes often, but that is a number in the current update. So if you've got some time when Fable is not as expensive as it's going to be, what do you do with it? There are many users who have thought about this, and they're not using Fable 5 to build flashy toys. They're using it to plan, audit, and write specifications. Then they hand the actual execution to cheaper models. That means they're using Fable's brilliant intelligence, Fable's depth of knowledge and ability to strategize and analyze, and then once the actual work has to be done, they hand it over to cheaper models. That is a very grown-up way to use an expensive machine. Let the genius architect draw the plan. Let the cheaper contractor install the cupboards. Is it glamorous? No. Is it probably the correct move? Annoyingly, yes. And this connects directly to a bigger shift happening under the surface. Capable AI is starting to look less like a luxury product and more like a raw input. One example being discussed this week compares two models doing the same job. The American flagship charges $30 to write 1 million tokens of output. A Chinese model that can be downloaded freely charges 28 cents through one provider. Not a little cheaper, about 107 times cheaper. Again, this is one marketplace, not the whole universe. But the direction is hard to ignore. A year ago, American labs reportedly supplied about 70% of the tokens moving through that particular routing market. This June, they supplied about 30%. That does not mean OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google are suddenly doomed. That would be too neat, and tech stories hate being neat. Enterprises still spend heavily with American labs because companies care about support, reliability, contracts, security reviews, and the comforting feeling that someone important can be blamed if the model misbehaves. Developers are different. Developers will try the cheaper model if it works. Then they will try an even cheaper one. Then they will make a dashboard to switch between them automatically. It is normal now, apparently. So there are really two AI markets forming. One for people who want the cheapest capable intelligence they can route into a product. Another for companies that want trust, support, and someone to answer the phone. Both are there, both are growing. And they're pulling the industry in different directions. That brings us to Etched, the chip startup that looked at Nvidia's empire and said politely, wrong problem. Etched has revealed a working chip called Sohu. The company says it has raised $800 million, signed $1 billion in customer contracts, and built 2 new chip technologies aimed at running transformer models. But transformer model is one of the basic designs that allowed LLMs to do the stuff that it can do now. It's a basic design behind ChatGPT, Claude, and most modern language models. So just think of it as a technique that LLMs use to deliver better results. It is a pattern that lets these systems understand the relationship between words, code, and ideas across large amounts of text. The pitch of Etched is that most AI chips are too general. Nvidia's chips are powerful because they can do many kinds of work. Etched is betting that the future belongs to chips that do one kind of work extremely well, running today's AI models after they have already been trained. That running stage is often called inference. It is what happens every time you ask a model a question and it produces an answer. Etched says the bottleneck is not just raw speed, it is memory, heat, and moving data around. Its low voltage inference is supposed to help chips avoid slowing down when they get hot. Its cluster scale memory is supposed to let many chips share memory more efficiently. The plain version can be something like this. Etched thinks AI companies are wasting money using flexible machines for work that is becoming repetitive and massive. The boldness is impressive. The skepticism is also fair. When a 4-year-old startup says it has a working chip, hidden funding rounds, and over $1 billion in contracts, the room is allowed to raise one eyebrow. Maybe both. Still, the direction makes sense. If AI keeps getting used everywhere, the money moves from building models to running them cheaply. Chips become strategy, and pricing is already causing headaches on the model side. Sonnet 5 became Claude's default model this week, and the internet was not gentle. One widely shared reaction called it dead in the water. A Hacker News discussion reportedly settled on a very specific complaint. Do not run Sonnet 5 above medium effort, because Opus may do better for the same money. The mechanism is the interesting part. Sonnet 5 reportedly uses a new Tokenizer, which is a system that chops text into billable pieces, into little pieces that get charged when you use it. Tokenizer may produce around 30% more tokens for the same text. Its thinking mode also defaults higher, which can push output to around 3 times what Sonnet 4.6 generated for similar work. Those numbers may vary by task, but API users notice this stuff immediately, because for them, every extra token is money leaving the building. For regular Claude app users, the pain is different. A flat subscription hides the token math. What they notice is that the default model changed overnight, and some users think it got worse. After all that, we'll tell you one small story, and this one is not trying to reshape the planet. Google Docs now has an AI text-to-speech features. You can go through Gemini in the toolbar and choose Listen to this tab, or Listen to document summary. You can also find it through Tools, then Audio. A little audio player appears. You can change the voice in the voice options that describe by mood or personality, like coach or persuader instead of just male or female. This one will not change your life. It might save a paragraph. For anyone who writes, hearing or draft out loud is different from reading it. Your eyes are very polite when they read it. They skip past your own mistakes because they know what you meant. Your ears are less forgiving. They hear the awkward sentence sitting there in the room, pretending not to be awkward. That is useful. So the day's AI story is not one story. It is the split. Models are scoring higher. Products are still hard. The best model is expensive. The cheaper models are catching up. The chips are getting specialized. Even writing tools are becoming a little more practical. Nobody has this cleanly figured out yet, which at this point may be the most reliable AI update there is. So if you enjoyed this episode, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.